Hi, welcome to another episode of Adventure Arkansas. Today I'm going to be doing a recheck on my Trek Remedy. So I've ridden the bike probably about 250 miles now and I've made a couple changes. Let's start with the most obvious that I've made. I've replaced the tires. They used to be Bontrager XR4. I've done Maxxis DHF 2.5 wide trail in the front and Maxxis Aggressor 2.3 in the rear. Next, I've replaced the grips with these Troy Lee designs, red. I like them a lot. They're a little bit bigger than the ones that were on there originally, and they also look really cool. I've added a Mucky Nuts face fender. I've also added metallic brake pads front and rear instead of the organics that came on the bike. So with those changes that I've made, a couple other things that happened within the first month of owning it. The rear derailleur, I got a stick caught in it. It was actually really embarrassing because I went to pull it out and it just bent the cage really bad. I was actually surprised that it was the cage that was bent and not the derailleur hanger, but that got replaced within the first week of me owning it, and it was a pretty big repair. It was like $120 for the part. So definitely this stuff is expensive. You know, the higher level componentry is going to be expensive to replace. Another thing that I did is I swapped the Minolink flip chip kind of thing. Stock, it came with just the regular head angle. Once you flip it to the low, it drops the head tube angle by about 1 degree, lowers the bottom bracket by about 8 millimeters. I've noticed that in the low position, it's definitely a lot better suited to go downhill. There's a lot more crank strikes if you're worried about that. I've got these boot protectors right here. Honestly, yeah, I just kick and slide on these things all the time, so definitely a worthwhile investment. Even though it's in the low position right now, I still find that it climbs pretty well. Obviously it's not going to climb like an XC bike, but you're going to have enough climb in you that you can clear pretty much anything other than true technical black diamond climbs. So now that I've ridden it for a while, I kind of want to reiterate how it really feels to ride. So after a while, it's awesome. Honestly, that's the easiest way to put it. On the downhills, there's just nothing like it. Really fast, comfortable. I had to play around with my shock and fork settings a little bit. When I first got it, I found that the fork was a little bit too harsh for my liking, the way that Trek recommended. So I dropped about 5 psi from 75 down to 70. And also I went a click slower on the rebound setting and it helped slow it down a little bit. The tires that were on there originally are very soft and grippy, but they're also very weak. I found that the sidewalls were just garbage. I sliced the one on the rear and the one on the front, it was just going out anyways. So that was within 200 miles, I'd already destroyed a set of tires. The rims, because the tires were so weak and kind of fragile, the rims kind of took a beating for this first set. So I've got a pretty good dinger on the back that I've had to straighten out, and then a minor ding on the front. But both of them, absolutely awesome to set up tubeless. I installed both these tires fresh out of the box. These are tubeless Maxxis tires, remind you, with a floor pump, right? So I just put them on there, and I originally thought that I would have to use a tube to put them on, but I just put them on there, put some sealant in, just pumped it up, and they both seated within 40 psi. It was pretty staggering, honestly. So the Bontrager line wheel set is just really something that it's a high point of the build right now. They might be kind of heavy, but honestly they're pretty high quality for what they are. I want to talk again about the seat post. I mentioned it before that it was really well done, and I agree, it is a very nice seat post, but whenever it gets wet, it just stops working. So what happens is dirt and crud and other stuff gets in here, inside of this seat collar right here. Because this wiper seal is not very well made, the tolerance isn't super tight, dirt and stuff gets down there and it gets in between the seat post and the seat post bushing inside of the assembly. Basically what happens is you get a lot of sand and stuff in there, and it has a lot of initial friction. So you press the lever, you sit down, and it doesn't go down. So, I mean, what are you supposed to do? So eventually I learned, if I'm out there riding in the wet and I get a lot of stuff on it, sit down, slam down, right? That's the only way that it works in the wet. Definitely a low point. You know, the KS on my other bike works fine in the wet. So, Bontrager, if you're listening, it's all about this seal right here. That's what's causing it. Here's a close-up of that tread. This is the Maxxis Aggressor 2.3 in the rear. You can see that it's got the nice big minion blocks on the sides, along with a relatively nice center line. It's really great for hard pack and loose over hard. It doesn't clear mud as much as a high roller or something like that, but it's definitely a good hard pack, and anything for the southeast is it's a really nice tire. This is the grip design on the Troy Lee grips that I have. Really nice. It's a little bit bigger than the ones that came stock. This is the front tire. It's a Maxxis Minion DHF 2.5 width. The 3C, XO, you name it, whatever, it's got it. Huge side ramps on there. Big center blocks. It's honestly the perfect trail tire. Lots of grip, rolls pretty fast too. As far as width goes, it's definitely not as big as the 2.4s that were on the they were from Bontrager originally, but Maxxis always runs their tires a little bit smaller. It's just something to expect. Here's the Minolink I was talking about earlier. To be able to change this, it looks like it's reverse threaded, so if you want to change it, you have to turn it clockwise to back this bolt out. So it's actually just bolted in from the inside. So if you turn it clockwise, it'll back it out. You take this chip out and turn it around, put it back in, and then tighten it on the other side, and it'll switch it up. Basically what it does is it moves the bottom bracket the bottom bracket drop just a little bit, and also because of the way that it moves, it drops the head tube angle a little bit, and also the seat tube angle. I hope that you enjoyed my kind of almost long-term review of this bike. I'm going to keep riding it, and probably after 500 or 1,000 miles I'll do another update and see if I've made any changes to the build, and keep y'all updated. Thanks for watching, and also like and leave a comment if you feel like I didn't cover anything, or if you want to see more videos like this. Have a great day.